Thanks, Anna. Critics of the 10th Democratic debate on Tuesday night have called it a free-for-all. Candidates talked over each other, ignored time cues, and many say the moderators failed to keep the candidates in line. And current frontrunner Bernie Sanders got burned left and right by his opponents.
Bernie and I agree on a lot of things, but I think I would make a better president.
Bernie, in fact, hasn't passed much of anything.
Imagine spending the better part of 2020 with Bernie Sanders versus Donald Trump.
I'm hearing my name mentioned a little bit tonight.
Sanders' opponents attacked him for a 60 Minutes appearance this week where he repeated controversial comments from the 1980s. Sanders praised Fidel Castro's regime in Cuba for its literacy program. Sanders won the Nevada caucus with the support of Latino voters, but with nearly 2 million Cuban Americans living in the United States, his comments could have a negative effect.
Educated their kids, gave them health care, totally transformed the society.
We're very opposed to the authoritarian nature of Cuba. But it's unfair to simply say everything is bad.
I have condemned authoritarianism, whether it is the people in Saudi Arabia that the United States government has
Cuba,
loved
Nicaragua?
for years. Cuba, Nicaragua. Authoritarianism of any stripe is bad.
Sanders is also being questioned after new intelligence reports that Russia is interfering in the 2020 election to benefit both him and President Trump. After the last debate, Mike Bloomberg took a more aggressive stance against Sanders.
Vladimir Putin thinks that Donald Trump should be president of the United States, and that's why Russia is helping you get elected so you'll lose to him.
But despite his quick attacks, critics still say Bloomberg is attempting to buy the presidential election. Sanders, whose campaign is seated on grassroots support, used Bloomberg as an example of wealth inequality.
The economy is doing really great for people like Mr. Bloomberg and other billionaires. Mayor Bloomberg has a solid and strong and enthusiastic base of support. Problem is, they're all billionaires. Now, if you
The next test for the candidates comes tomorrow with the South Carolina primary. For months, Joe Biden has been considered the frontrunner in the state, but Sanders has been gaining momentum across the country. But right after South Carolina comes Super Tuesday, where 14 states will split more than 1,300 delegates. Many Chapman students will be voting in their first presidential election, but does everyone know about the primary? Kim Becker has the story on what makes Tuesday's election so important.
This year, California is voting on Super Tuesday. Now, what the heck does that mean for you? Well, if you're anything like me, you have no idea what Super Tuesday is. Do you know what Super Tuesday is?
No idea, sorry.
No.
No.
I'm just gonna say I feel so much better about my life. Do you like politics?
Yeah.
So Super Tuesday doesn't ring a bell by any means.
Actually, it does a little now that you say politics.
We got
I
it.
just needed a bit of a reminder, and then I was getting some.
Chapman students have the smarts. All right, hun, do you know what Super Tuesday is?
It's when one of the states has their election.
Turns out I'm not the only one who's confused about Super Tuesday, so I did some research. Super Tuesday is on March 3rd and is the day that the most primaries and caucuses are held in the United States. California usually votes in June, but this year, the primary is happening at the same time as 13 other states. In order to be the Democratic nominee, each candidate has to achieve a certain number of delegates. The first candidate to reach 1,991 delegates, the majority, wins the nomination. So Super Tuesday is super important. However, there is still a long way to go, considering the frontrunner Bernie Sanders only has 43 delegates. By moving up the primary dates, your votes matter more than ever. On Super Tuesday, 30% of the delegates awarded to candidates will come from California alone. For reference, the Nevada caucus had 36 delegates. In California, there are 416. So if the question still lingers if your vote matters, the answer is yes. Your vote has the potential to shake up the entire election. If you haven't registered to vote in California, fear not. Stop by the voting center on campus in the Argyros Forum, room 119, until Tuesday to register.
No matter your party preference, make sure to cast your votes in time because Tuesday's election is going to be super. Thanks, and back to you.